spacemen landing in your area once again. And tonight I'm coming to you from Munn Park in Lakeland, and I'm smoking my Peterson Killarney bent fishtail pot style with some Boswell, Pennsylvania Dutch treat. And tonight I have a question for everyone. What are your top 10 favorite movies? So there, I'm going to tell you mine. Okay? You'll see I'll list them in order of priority, I guess. Let's see. Let's start out with Office Space, number 10, comedy. About these two guys that work in this office, Anytech or something, Anytech, and they get together with these guys and they develop this money-making scam, and they get caught and everything. It's kind of a funny comedy movie. Done by the same guy who did Beavis and Butthead, by the way, Mike Judge. Number 9. Beavis and Butthead Do America. It's like a cartoon kind of movie, but it's cool, and I like it. Number 8. Raising Arizona, starring I guess it's Nicolas Cage, is it? And that other dude, John, what's that guy's name? See, I can't remember his name. John something. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's kind of a cool movie about this guy, this rich guy that owns a furniture store, and his baby gets kidnapped, and there's an outlaw guy on there that's a vigilante guy that tells him he's going to find his kid for him and he'd bring it back home. I'm trying to remember that guy's name. It's kind of funny. It's kind of a funny movie, a really funny movie. And not really like a top. I guess it probably didn't win any Grammy Awards or anything, but I don't go by that. I just go by what I like. So where am I at now? 8. That was 8, right? Number 7 is a B movie. It's kind of a thing where, you know, it's a lot of people may think it's a lousy movie, but I liked it. It's called Street Trash. That's the only B movie that made it to my list, by the way. I did like Clerks, but I wouldn't put Clerks in this list. By the way, those guys in Clerks used to go to the same record store that I did up in Red Bank, New Jersey, Vintage Vinyl. Let's see, that brings me to number 6, right? Number 6, Home Alone. I'm going to say Home Alone 2, okay? And then number 5 is Home Alone. So we've got Home Alone 1 and 2. I like both those movies. They're Christmas movies, but they're like 2 of my favorite movies. Well, where am I now? I'm at 4. Does that bring me to 4? I think it does. Okay. So now we're kind of getting to the top of the list here. Number 4 would be Bullitt with Steve McQueen. So, you know, this is to me, the best, the all-time best car chase of any movie ever. And it was, the bad guys drove a 1968 Dodge Charger with the bottle top taillights. More than likely had a 440 in it. I'm not sure of the size of the engine, but it was the big one. It was the fast one. probably 4-speed. And Steve McQueen drove Mustang. I believe it's possible it could have been a Shelby, but I'm not totally sure. But they had this chase through the hills of San Francisco, and they were just jumping from hill to hill and just barreling around the corners and crashing into cars and sliding into cars, and then they took it onto the highway, and it was the most awesome, in total, to me, more realism in any chase that I've ever seen in any movie, and the best in the realm of realistic car chases, I'll put it that way. There may be chases that would be better today by today's standards, production standards, but to me this was more realistic, and it would be very hard to duplicate that in today's day and age in a realistic sense. So that, to me, I consider that the best car chase of all time in any car chase movie. So, and that's also my favorite car, a 1968 Dodge Charger. It was a black one. It was a beautiful car, beautiful. And if you haven't seen Bullitt, you got to check that movie out, okay? And Steve McQueen does some awesome driving in that movie, by the way. He did his own stunt car driving. Most of it. I think there was actually another stunt man who took over during that movie, because I think Steve McQueen kept crashing that car. Kind of contrary to what I just said. But he still did his own stunt, most of his own stunt car driving. I mean, I know there's been chases that people have said, have equaled that chase and have surpassed that chase. I just, to me, it's never been equal, because it's the way it was done without effects and in complete, almost complete realism. It was like not equaled. Just my opinion. So, which brings me to number 3. Now we're kind of getting, let's see, what are my last 3 movies? Well, I'll tell you what, I liked The Out-of-Towners. It's a comedy from 1969. It was really funny if you've never seen it before. Jack Lemmon. I forget the name of the girl that's in the movie, but it's really funny. Actually, number 2 should have been listed before Bullitt, because actually Bullitt's probably a better movie, but I still like this movie. Number 2, the Dukes of Hazzard movie that came out like in 2008. I really love that movie because actually people say, well, it's not really like the TV show. Well, it's actually better than the TV show. I liked it better than, I saw the TV show. I grew up watching the TV show. Used to watch it every Friday night. Used to love it. This movie to me was better than the TV show. What is my number 1 all-time favorite movie? This is a tough one, because it's kind of like a draw between National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and some others, because I don't want to bog down this list with Christmas movies. I've already got 2 Christmas movies on the list. So, what is my favorite number 1 all-time movie? I'll tell you what, I'm going to sit and think on that one, and I'm going to switch you over to my friend over here. He's going to tell you his favorite movies, okay? You ready? What are your favorite movies?
I'm just going to pick one.
You're just going to pick one movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel good going through the list.
Not that big of a deal, really.
Well, can I just pick one?
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Okay, and that brings me to my favorite all-time movie.
Let me say something about the Kingdom of Heaven. It has a little bit of everything. It's a historical movie, medieval movie. It's about the Crusades. Has moral issues in it, spiritual issues in it. All-star cast: Orlando Bloom, Liam Neeson, A couple other people that are in that movie. It was historically accurate, and it's a great movie. And it kind of slid under the radar because it came out after Troy. It was overshadowed by Troy, and I just like to say it didn't get the publicity it should have got. But if you ever get a chance to watch it, you won't be disappointed.
I've seen the movie he's talking about, and it really is a good movie. If you like those kind of movies, I'm not really a big buff on those kind of movies, but I'm not saying anything bad about the movie. It's just not really up my alley. But while he was describing that movie, I now thought of my favorite all-time movie. Okay, are you ready for this one? Maybe not. Let me light my pipe first. My favorite all-time movie is from, I'm not sure about the year, it could be 68 or 69. The very first and only and best of all, they did a long series of them, okay? It would be Planet of the Apes, and that would be the very first Planet of the Apes movie, the very first one. I think it was 68 or 69. What year was that?
68.
68, 1968. Charlton Heston, the Planet of the Apes, best movie in my mind, all-time movie. Well, you know, that's if you like sci-fi like I do. So.
And Nova looked pretty good in it too.
And I'm going to have some honorable mentions here that I didn't mention, okay? And one of them is Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which was a very good movie, but even though it didn't make it to my list, I thought it was a great movie. Steven Spielberg did that movie. And another honorable mention would be Communion, which was another alien UFO kind of movie. Another on this list would be Star Wars, the first one, Jaws, which I thought was a great movie. I saw that in the theater. Oh, by the way, all these movies I'm mentioning right now, Close Encounters, Star Wars, Jaws, what was the other one? Communion I didn't see in the theater. I saw these in the theater when they came out, as well as The Wake of Poseidon and Earthquake in the 70s, but I'm not going to put them on here as an honorable mention. But I saw Earthquake in the theater when they had surround sound or sensory surround, where you actually felt like the theater was shaking and moving when the earthquake was happening. I thought that was kind of cool. They never really continued with that effect in the movie theaters, but they had it in that movie, and that was kind of like really cool. There are probably some other honorable mentions which I'm missing here. I Know My Girl was a good movie. Stand By Me was a really good movie. These are honorable mentions, that's all. So you might want to check those out. So just figured I'd do this. And what are your 10 favorite movies? Let's hear about it. If you have 10. Maybe you only have one. Maybe you only have 2 or 3. So put that up. Let's hear about it. A couple more honorable mentions. Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover. How could I forget that one? Those two. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and Joe Pesci. Classic. In fact, those movies should have made my top 10 list, but I didn't think of them. So I'm going to put them as honorable mentions. That'll do it. And so you all have a good evening, whatever you're doing. Smoke your pipe, drink your coffee. Try to think of something positive and nice and peaceful. Have some peace and serenity with God or wherever you're going to go, whatever you're going to do, and I'll talk to you in the next video.